All right, so next up we have Cydnee. Cydnee not only had to deal with the breaking of her Raspberry Pi towards the end of it, which she will gladly talk about over the course of her presentation, and persevered through it, got it working again. She also has deemed herself the better Greg, which I will now allow the better Greg to continue with her presentation.
Hello, everyone. My name is not Better Greg. My name is Cydnee, and I am a rising sophomore at Hackley Upper School, and I also chose the Smart Mirror project. So I chose this project because I thought it would be very useful to have any information you want displayed on something that's most likely one of the first things you'll look at in the morning. So for my main modification, I decided to code each of my modules from scratch instead of downloading them from a third-party source of any kind. So this is what the screen of my mirror looks like, and it just has the date, the time, and the weather. So for me, the weather was probably the hardest module to set up because it involved using an API, which basically takes information from a different part of the internet and allows me to display it here. And despite that being the hardest module for me, the one I'm most proud of is my LED lights. So here's a picture of my full mirror and what it looks like. And to do that, I had to research how to hook up the LED lights to my Raspberry Pi. So here is the monitor, which is hot glued to the piece of glass, and then the LED lights are attached around the border of it. So in addition to having lights, I wanted to connect them more to my mirror. So the lights will change color based on the weather. And when the temperature is above 70 degrees, the lights will turn red. And then when it's below 70 degrees, the lights will turn blue. So one of the biggest problems I ran into during this project was when my Raspberry Pi decided to shut down 2 days before this. So, and I tried everything to fix it, but it just wouldn't work. So I ended up having to order a new Raspberry Pi, and then I had to complete all the setup steps and replace all the code that was on it. So doing this project taught me a lot about engineering, but it also taught me a lot about myself, meaning that I actually enjoyed working with the LED lights more than coding the mirror and everything on it. So I think I'm more interested in things involving hardware and stuff like that. So I hope to pursue some kind of engineering that involves working with my hands more in the future. Thank you. Any questions?
Very good stuff. Very good stuff. Does anyone have any questions for Cydnee? No, I can jump in.
I have one. So you said you coded it from scratch, which is super cool, first of all. What did you use to do that? So what did you build your platform sort of off of, what language or what software?
So I used React, and I coded each of the modules in JavaScript. So, but for the weather, I had to take the information from a different place, an open weather site, and then I had to paste a link into the code that would tell me the weather in the exact place that I wanted.
Cydnee, so I was wondering, when you were setting up your LED lights, right? Since you already had the previous code for your weather on your mirror, right? Was it much easier to set up the weather on your LED lights, or did the skills translate, or did you just did you find that it was much more difficult because it was just intrinsically different?
Not all the skills translated because I had to use a different language to code the lights. I had to use Python, and I put the code on my Raspberry Pi instead of putting it on React, which is more on my computer.
Awesome. Okay. Anyone else have any questions for Cydnee? Anyone want any other burning questions? I think everyone could give Cydnee a round of applause.